Hello everyone, Majori here from the Punk Priestess, and today we're going to unbox a vintage deck that I have called Planetary Calendar Astrological Cards. So this was made in the 80s and it's kind of used as a study guide to learn the planets and the different house systems as well as the astrological signs. So I'm really started to start using this in my tarot practice because I definitely incorporate tarot and astrology together, and I'm really excited to start using this vintage deck. So it doesn't have a box because I bought it vintage, and there's actually supposed to be 52 cards, but I only have 49, so it's okay. Like, nothing is majorly missing that I am aware of, but I just love that this is kind of more of a flashcard type of study guide, and I wish I had something like this growing up when I was learning astrology very young. So this is a cool resource to have, and I'm really excited to show this to you, and maybe you can find some more astrology decks to incorporate into your practice. I have noticed that there's really not a lot of astrology decks out there, and I think that's something that we need to start making in the market again, because in the 60s and 70s it was a big deal, and it's kind of disappeared, I feel. So definitely very excited that I snagged this vintage deck, and I'm really looking forward to showing you the cards. Okay, so here's the deck here, and it's just thin. Again, I don't have the box, and I forgot to mention this deck was designed by Louis Pigeon. So if you're looking for a deck similar to this, just Google his name and some more of his decks will come up. But on the imagery, it's just the motifs of the astrological signs, like going in a circle. So this is really cool. And the cardboard is very flimsy and thin, so it's definitely like flashcard style. So we're going to go through the first cards. So we have Aries here, and as I mentioned, this is an astrology deck, so of course the signs are going to be included. So we have Aries, and it gives a little brief description about what Aries is. And I love this because it also gives like its representation and its number and numerology. So a lot of details here on this little card. Next we have is Taurus. And it has the number here because Taurus is the second astrological sign in the wheel. And then we have Aries being number 1, so that is why it has an ace. Gemini here. Cancer. Leo. Virgo. Libra. So this is great if you are new to astrology and want a quick little study guide instead of always carrying around a book with you or having to Google what a sign means. It's just kind of nice to have these cards. Have Scorpio here. And it also has like its little motif, like image. Sagittarius. Capricorn. Aquarius. And then we have Pisces here. So next we have the houses. So we have the first house here. And then this house system connects back to the astrological signs. So the second house ruling Taurus. Then you'll notice it have a 2 on the Taurus card, so you can connect the house to the sign if you're studying. Then we have 3, which is the house of Gemini. The 4th house, and it tells you a little brief description, like your home, like what the 4th house represents. And these are just very quick little descriptions here, a little quick study guide. But it's great because you can elaborate off of this and make more personal connections to the house system, especially knowing your birth chart. I love that, like the 8th house legacies. And it's cool because this meaning, it's a little bit not untraditional, but it's a little bit more old school than now. So, which is great because I definitely feel I like to come from a more historical way of learning the houses and different aspects of astrology. I love that. The 12th house of restrictions representing Pisces. So it's cool because you can, if you know a little bit about Pisces, you can reference it to this, but it just gives you a little bit more elaboration on the house that the sign falls in. So it can help your astrology practice. So now we have the planets. And what's interesting is that there is a positive aspect of the planet and then when it's adverse. So it's favorable and adverse. So I really like, you can learn the positive and the negative aspects of the planet. So we have the sun here in the positive, and then we have the sun in the negative. So that's like that for each planet. Mercury here. And it gives a little description of Mercury with some keywords. So again, it's all about making association, which I really like. It's not just giving you a very bleak answer. It's just giving you some word association, and then you can connect that to your practice. So we have Venus here. Venus in the negative. I have to eat something. We have the moon. The moon again. Earth. So I thought it was interesting that they have Earth here. Earth in the reverse. Mars. Mars in the reverse. Jupiter. Saturn. Uranus. Neptune. We have Pluto, the last planet here. So now we have these extra cards. This is with the planets, with the astrology connections, and I think this is pretty cool. Like a little chart to kind of give you a breakdown with the elements, and then if one's like a cardinal sign and a fixed sign, so you also can kind of learn that as well. So like all the cardinal signs, which are like more masculine, has more masculine associations, is up here, and then it like kind of trickles down. So that's really cool. Little study guide. Then we have aspects and like the degrees. So I think this is very beneficial and something that really needs to be practiced and memorized. So I'd really appreciate that there's an aspect card here, and it has the degrees here, and then like what a conjunction is, and like the symbol of the conjunction, and like the degree it would be if it's a conjunction in the chart. So this is actually super helpful and cool. Then there's the Midheaven and the Nadar coming through with this wheel, so kind of knowing where they fall if you're reading a birth chart, and then like the different houses, and like the horizons. And also this can reference the ascendant, trying to find the ascendant in the chart. Then we have void of course moon. So a little description about this and what this means. This is actually really cool because almost every other day we have a void course moon for a couple of hours. Just gives a little insight about this. And I think this is a really cool part of astrology that doesn't get a lot of attention, and it should. So definitely this is cool if this is in there for the study guide. And then we have the nodes. So we have the North node, and then we have the South node. So definitely learning these two, and they have to be represented in astrology, very important. So I think this is super cool that these cards are represented. Okay everyone, thank you so much for watching the unboxing video of this awesome vintage astrology deck. So if you're looking for an astrology deck, definitely just research and Google some vintage ones if they pop up. Most of them would be from the 60s and the 70s and probably like the early 80s from what I could find. But there are some astrology oracle decks out there. So definitely I think it's really cool to start incorporating astrology cards into your personal tarot practice, and even just to pull for yourself to know a little bit more about these awesome signs and houses and planets. So until next time, thank you so much and see you soon.